Yeah, like I've said, I want to welcome you once again in today's lesson. The name remains the same. I'm Teacher Bate, going to have the science as usual at the same time. Before I start, I want you to please mute yourselves so that we can have a conducive learning environment. I don't want to teach when we are in a noisy environment. Make sure you are muted. Those ones who are muting themselves, that's very good. Maral, I'm not seeing you muted.
Yes.
And Otim, mute yourself. Maral and Otim, mute yourselves. Okay, Maral, thank you. Otim, you're remaining. Thank you, Otim. Wagala Nana, mute yourself. And Love it, mute yourself. Love it, mute yourself. Peace Sunday, you're welcome. Nancy, you're welcome. Let us start. But before I start, if you remember, please, I said mute yourselves. Okay, I was saying that last time we looked at parts of the human skeleton. We looked at parts of the human skeleton. Before I share my work, I want us to go through, just have a recap within 1 or 2 minutes on what we looked at. Can you give me name the bones that make up the human arm? The bones that make up the human arm. Yes, can I have bones which make up the human arm? By show of hands. By show of hands, name for me the bones that make up the human arm. By show of hands. Those ones you remember yesterday, that's what we looked at. Actually, not even yesterday only, but for the 2 days we've been. Okay, Blonica, thank you. I've seen your answer there. Saying radius. Okay, another one. Another one. You can chat. You can use chat option. Ulna, thank you, Nancy. Okay. Okay, another person. One bone remaining. One bone remaining. One bone remaining. Pony, thank you. That's the bone. It's called humerus. It's called humerus. Nancy is saying femur. Nancy, femur is not a bone of humerus. I mean of human arm. We're talking about the human arm. Say the upper bone is called the humerus. All together. Then after the elbow, down here we have 2 bones. We said one is called the what? One is called the radius and another is called the the ulna. Now, can you give me the difference between the ulna and radius? Someone to give me the difference. Very good. We have the phalanges also. Thank you, Pony. Someone to give me the difference by show of hands. Give me the difference between. How do you know? I'm going to just make you unmute and you tell us how you can differentiate between the ulna and the radius. Can I have that person? How can you differentiate between Blonica? Thank you. I've seen your answer. Couples also. Thank you very much. Can I see the hands up? How can you differentiate between the ulna and the radius? I want someone to give us a talk on that. That will be our Chimuli Caroline. I can see your hand. Chimuli Caroline. Yes. How do you know that this is the ulna and this is the radius? Chimuli, talk. Chimuli, my friend, don't fear. Just talk. Chimuli. Seems Chimuli is fearing. Okay, Chimuli, talk. How would you know that this is the ulna and this is the radius?
Ulna is the pinky finger and the radius is the thumb finger.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You say ulna is connected to the pink finger and the radius is connected to the thumb finger, like that. Ulna is not the pink finger and just say they are connected. You get me? Ulna is connected from the humerus to the pink finger, whereas the radius is connected from the humerus to the thumb. Are we together? Okay. Without wasting time, today we are going to look at functions of the human skeleton. Functions of the human skeleton. Are we together? We're going to look at functions of the human skeleton. I guess most of you received our lesson notebooks with P7. They have that content actually. They have the content that I'm going to teach. So it's better before the lesson you can go through and you have knowledge. You can just make research so that when we come the lesson, you already know what we are going to cover. Okay, allow me share my screen. I hope you can see that screen there. Is everyone able to see my screen? Thumb up if you can see my screen. Thumb up, please. I want to know if the screen is visible. Okay, very good. Chimori, thank you. Locomot, thank you. Okay, so that is it. We are going to, it is our second week, of course, and it is day 3, right? Day 3. We are looking at, we are in P6, like I said, but we are studying P7 work. Of course, we know we are qualified P7 members, right? Okay. I won't do corrections because I didn't share corrections. I mean homework yesterday, being the network was not stable and we were not able to finish the lesson successfully. Preview of yesterday's lesson that was done. So we are going to something new today, right? And that will be the new lesson for today. So by the end of today, the reason as to why we're in this lesson, number 1, by the end of this lesson, we shall be able, that's me and you, of course, shall be able to give the functions of the human skeleton. When the lesson ends, everyone must be in position to give functions of the human skeleton or of the skeleton to any organism. To name the types of bones, we are going to look at types of bones. And lastly, we are going to look at examples of each type of bone. That's the intention. Those are our intentions for today. Are we together? That's why we are here in this lesson. Is that okay? So we shall start off with functions of the human skeleton. Functions of the human skeleton. However, before I give you functions of the human skeleton, I want to ask some of you to raise hand and give me what you think are the right answers, or according to your research, because I know some of you are good at making research. What do you think are the functions of the human skeleton? How is the skeleton important to you? By show of hands. By show of hands. Yes, Bronica Paulino, unmute and give us one of the functions of human skeleton.
They support the body.
Okay, it supports the body in what? In movement. Okay, that's okay. You can just say it gives the body support. It supports the body. Yes, Ahmed. Ahmed, unmute. Nal Ahmed, unmute and give us the answer. You're delaying. Okay, Ahmed is delaying. Another person, let us, Peace Sunday, my friend Peace Sunday, give us the answer. Peace Sunday, unmute. When I select you, please don't delay, you unmute and give us the answer. That's why you are understand.
It protects delicate body parts.
Very good. Protects delicate body parts. Thank you. Pony, give us the answer. After giving the answer, you mute yourself, please.
It allows movement of the body.
Very good, girl. Thank you. It allows movement of the body. Thank you. Steven.
Teacher Pony took my answer.
Okay, thank you. It's okay, it's okay. So it allows, like you said, those are right answers. It allows body movement, gives support, protects delicate body organs. We are going to look at some other functions of the human skeleton, right? There, as you can see, we are saying functions of the human skeleton. Number one, it supports the body. It supports the body. We, of course, on this side here, not this way. It supports the body. That's one. For you to have support, your body, remember, it's just flesh. it cannot be there. You cannot stand if you don't have a skeleton. So what gives you the support to stand is are those bones that you have. So number one, the skeleton supports the body. Number two, it gives the body shape. The shape of your head, the shape of your hand, the shape of course, someone to stand and you see the shape. It is because of the skeleton. Like I've said, I repeat it. No one can stand if you don't have the bones. That's obvious. So if you don't have the skeleton, you cannot stand, right? So it supports, it gives you the body shape. It gives you the body shape. Another one, as you can see there, it allows body movement. It allows body movement. Skeleton allows body movement. For you to move from one position or from one place to another is because of the bones, the movement in bones. If your bones cannot move, that means you cannot move also. So skeleton allows body movement. Another one, it protects the delicate body organs. We shall look at the delicate body organs, which are protected by the parts of the skeleton. Are we together? It provides attachment of muscles. It provides attachment of muscles. The muscles that you see, when I talk about muscles, I'm meaning your flesh, right? The muscles that you see, they cannot just be there independent without support. So what helps to attach them is there are those bones, or what we call the skeleton, right? So the skeleton helps to support your muscles or to provide the attachment of your muscles. Are we together? We are saying it manufactures or makes blood cells. Those of Nana, Kwagala, those of Lavet, I taught you are the functions of different blood cells. We know types of blood cells. We have red blood cells, we have white blood cells, we have platelets. So we say some of these blood cells are made by the bones. Are we together? They're made by the bones. For example, the red blood cell and the platelets are made by the bones. So the importance of the skeleton, or one of the functions of the skeleton, is to make blood cells. Are we together? That's one of the functions of the skeleton, to make blood cells. I won't say red blood cells, but it is not only one that is made. Of course, we have red blood cell and the platelets. Those two are made by what? By our skeletal system. Made by our skeletal system. Are we together? So the skeleton helps to make blood cells. That's one. Helps to make the blood cells. That's one. Secondly, they ask you the blood cells which are made by the skeleton. Number one, you say platelets. Secondly, you say what? You can say red blood cells. Red blood what? Cells. I hope I'm very clear there. Okay, we move on. Delicate parts, as you can see here, delicate parts or delicate organs. That's what I'm meaning. And the parts of the skeleton that protect those organs. Number one, we have the brain and the inner ear. The brain and the inner ear. Are we together? So which part of the skeleton protects the brain? As you can see there, the answer is the skull. You can call it the skull. You can call it brain case. You can call it cranium. When yesterday I told you cranium, and I said cranium are those bones which make up the skull, or bones of the skull. So when they ask you which body organ is protected by cranium, you say brain, or you say inner ear. Brain case, it is the same thing with the skull. We have the spinal cord. Last time I told you to touch your back. When you touch your back, you feel what we call the backbone. There are those bones at the back, or what we call spine, or rather vertebral column. So the backbone, when you touch your back, the backbone is just arrangement of small bones. But inside those bones, there's what we call a spinal cord, where the nerves are connected. So the spinal cord is found in the backbone. So importance of the backbone is to protect the spinal cord. Please make sure you are understanding this area, because they will ask you questions from here. The heart and the lungs are protected by the rib cage. The heart and the lungs are protected by the rib cage. I told you yesterday that ribs are those bones, but the space that is between, if you look at my hands like this, These are just the fingers, but the space these fingers create is what we call the cage altogether. So the rib cage, that's the space, protects the heart and the lungs. The question will be, name any two body organs which are protected by the rib cage. You should be in position to give the answer there. The eyes, one of the other organs protected by the orbit, or rather eye socket. I don't, at this time, you know the orbit and the eye socket, not so? You know the orbit and the eye socket. So the orbit are body organs protected by, the orbit is part of the skeleton that protects the eyes. Lastly, the female reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ, don't say system, say organ, is protected by the pelvis. Yesterday we looked at the pelvic bone, or what we call the hip bone. It's called the hip bone or pelvic bone. So in summary, as I'm winding up this slide, we have talked about functions of the skeleton. We've said, number one, supports the body. It gives the body shape, allows the body movement. It protects the delicate body organs. It provides attachment of bones, or you can say it holds, or attachment of muscles. You can also say it holds muscles. Lastly, it makes bloody cells. They will ask you this question. Which body organ is protected by the skull? The answer is brain or inner ear. This pinna here, I know all of you have studied what we call the parts of the ear. We have what we call the pinna. This pinna is the outer ear, but we're talking about the inner ear. So don't say ear, you just say inner ear. Then the backbone protects the spinal cord. The rib cage protects two organs, that's the heart and the lungs. The orbit protects the eyes, and the pelvis or hip bone protects what we call the female reproductive organ. Have you understood that part? Can I see the thumbs up? Can I see the thumbs up for those people who have understood? Can I see the thumbs up? Okay, Pony, thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay. To those ones who have understood, that's very good. If you've not understood, please, you can use the chat and just give me what? A notification. I will be in position to know. Okay. So let us continue. Let us continue with another part here. We are looking at bones. We are going to look at bones. Someone read for me.